JMB should not restrict what I keep in my house.
Your access card,
Or blocking access card definitely.
right? Then parcels will send to the condo, right? And then after that, management will say, okay, we are charging $30 for every parcels we are collecting right now.
You can't do that.
Hello, welcome back to Law Unfiltered. Today, I'm joined with a very special guest, Dato Simmonds.
Hi.
Thank you for being here, Dato.
Oh, you're welcome.
Dato is actually part
My
of...
pleasure.
Thank you. Dato is actually, as I've heard, part of the committee board for a JMB, right?
Yeah, I've been involved in strata management sitting in the JMB for quite a while.
I believe you have a lot of experience in this part of the law.
Still learning.
Must be very complicated.
Not really. Not really. I think it's basically what you need to do is ensure that whatever you do is for the for the benefit of the proprietors, and what you need to exercise just and equitable when you making your decisions, especially spending other people's money, which is the proprietors' money.
Yes.
So you are very careful with
Must
it.
be accounted for, basically.
Yes.
Right. So if you live in like a condo, service apartments, then this video is for you. Now, before we go on to 5 top things that you should actually know between you and proprietors and managements, let's talk about how the management is formed. So as I know, now JMB is formed from by the developer actually from the date of delivery of vacant possession. So developers have 12 months, not more than 12 months, to commence a annual general meeting. Now at that time itself, then JMB will be formed, right? Now when JMB is formed, there is a certain things that they have to talk about, like several agendas for the first meeting. For example, what are the contributions, charges that has to be paid, interest accrued if you are late on payment, what else? What is the annual budget, right?
Yeah. I think for most proprietor, leave alone the formation of the MCs, the JMB, I think that's very clearly specified in the Strata Management Act.
Correct.
I think the more concerns for most proprietor is the charges, the amount of charges, how that is derived,
Yeah.
how they calculate,
Yeah.
based on what,
Correct.
your share entitlement units, whether the assignment of the share entitlement units is in accordance to Strata Titles Act,
Yeah.
and then the budget. So the first meeting will be you set the maintenance charges, the
Yes,
sinking funds.
correct, yeah.
Sinking funds is basically 10% of your maintenance charges. And the more concern is that, and secondly is the scope and duty of the JMB or MC for that matter.
Yeah. Which is also pretty much specified in the Act itself. The
Yeah, but
duties.
then sometimes the management can go very wrong because they abuse their position. They think they own the building. Actually, they are not. Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is why now today we're going to talk about all these things, like top 5 most common things that I usually hear about. Like for example, the first scenario that I have is when you already have a maintenance fees and the sinking fund, how much you are supposed to pay for within the stipulated time, and then suddenly there is an increment. It can be increased without you knowing, or it can be increased during the AGM itself. But sometimes there will be a notice on the lift somewhere, somehow. Maintenance fees increased.
No, they can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. You see,
No.
a lot of people
You can't
don't
do
know that.
the
Yeah.
JMB can't do that.
Yeah.
Maintenance charges is basically set at AGMs.
Correct.
So at the first AGM or every subsequent year, the committee members, outgoing committee members will propose the rates to be charged.
Correct.
Because as things goes up, expenses will go up,
Yeah.
so they have to revise those rates. It could be it comes down too. In some of the cases some of the places that I do sit in as committee members, the rates do actually come down because we do some energy savings and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily it goes up; it can come down too.
So you just review it like yearly, right? Yeah.
So you already know the expenses, the past
yeah,
years. So
yeah.
then you actually forecast what's going to be. For example, recently there's increase of the electricity tariff, so you have to forecast for that.
Yeah.
So you set the rates. Now, if you think or the committee member thinks that there's going to be increase, then what they do is call an EGM to revise those rates. So JMB cannot just paste on a notice board and say, okay, today you pay 50, tomorrow pay 80. No. You can't do that. You just can't do that.
Correct. That's true. Now, how about nowadays there is a lot of mixed developments. For example, it's not only residentials, it has like residential malls, and then mixed with like office and then malls, things like that, right? So the creative ways to build properties right now. So like, see that I've seen like several cases, like there is a dispute towards the charges on the maintenance and also the sinking fund, for example. Can we now charge the same? Do we charge the same rate for like malls, the car park, and also the residential area? Because you see, like maybe some of the things that the residential area use, like for example, pools, gyms. Maybe the office area they don't use it, right? So and then the rates are sometimes now different. You get what I mean? So like sometimes people will be wondering like why is there like a different rate now?
That is quite common
Yeah.
in mixed development. Obviously, especially where you have car park, basement car park, you have a podium block, and then you have hotel, you may have residential, you may have office tower. That can come different rates.
Yeah.
Because they use the expenditures and expenses are very different from each block.
That's true.
Each
That's
parcels.
true. Yeah.
So they have to assign and based on the expenditure forecast, and the first one will be basically the forecast expenditure. Roughly you will know how much already because the rate is quite fairly standard. So each rate is different for each component itself.
Correct.
But you must make sure that the components are very, very different usage altogether.
Like what I said just now, like maybe like the
it's
residential. You have the park, swimming pool.
Yes. So this
gym.
basically is you have to
account for everything, right? Yeah.
And in a just an equitable manner. Because for example, like if you have you have a residential tower on top of a commercial block or podium, you have swimming pools upstairs.
Swimming pool.
For the residentials. I
Okay.
mean, you won't allow the commercial units to use those facilities. So those facilities are purely solely for the use of residential. You can't expect the commercial fellows to pay.
That's true. Yeah.
So you basically then assign it and that this is the rate that they will pay by the residential areas, and then you have the commercial components.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I think that you already roughly knows when the developers roughly knows that these are the components that potentially will form a sub-MC. So when you assign the accounts, when you prepare those accounts, you already anticipate that account will hand over to the sub-MC. Yeah, so there will be a good transition and handover for each component.
So the sub MC would deal with just one part.
One component, for the residential. And you could have two residential blocks there.
That's true. Yeah, correct.
They're different usage.
Yeah.
One may have a bigger swimming pool, or one will have a gym, or will have tennis court. The other don't have.
Yeah.
And the other tower cannot use the other tower's facilities. So then you have to carve it up, and then you have to assign those costs accordingly.
Oh yeah, but I feel like things gets complicated. Like, do you have any experience on how complicated things have become?
It's not complicated. It's we human beings make it complicated. And most of the time when you
money is sensitive topic.
When we owns a stratified building, the thing that comes into your mind is this: you need to pay the maintenance because it's a common pool for the maintenance of the common property, and if you don't pay for it, there won't be any maintenance.
That's true, yeah.
And if the common property is not maintained the
then
way
you will
it should
run
be,
down.
then you run down.
Affects the purchase
Not
price.
only
as
affects
well.
because then it's just that you don't service your car frequently,
Yeah.
and when your car breaks down, it's going to cost you more.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to pay the maintenance charges. For the place that I sit as a chairman, my collection rate is 99.6%.
Wow.
Because you see, we because we educate the provider that you have to pay.
Yeah.
And you pay, we provide the services. But I think the perception of a lot of proprietors is that the first thing they will suspect that the committee members tends to, because we hear a lot of cases that committee members will takes money out, siphons money out.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, which is I wouldn't say it's common, but I think that's the perceptions. But it is not as a committee member, you're not paid for the job, so it's more like a
Free job.
public service actually.
Okay.
Yeah, you pay for like $200 per meeting, so but you have that responsibility. So I think it's basically that's why I always advise all parcel owners participate in the management, attend meetings.
At least you know what you're
At least
paying
know what
for.
you're
Why
paying,
is it
yeah.
increased or things
And
like that?
who are the people that you like, right? So because they are going to manage your property. If your property is not managed properly, you won't have your capital gain. Yeah, the value of that property. If it's well maintained and well managed, the value of property goes up. So
This is why the
the
value
moral
of the
story
property...
is to pay and get the right people to actually oversee the property manager that you appointed.
Yeah. But what I wanted to say is that this is why the property you maintain is so well-to-do in value.
You spend, as a committee, you have to look at the whole component of it, and then you spend the money where it is, especially landscaping. You give a different ambience altogether.
True, that's true.
You have that's money that you're going to spend.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like something like for return of investment.
Yes, and then if let's say you have a lot of parcels, and then the common properties, you look at maybe some energy saving, because energy can be very expensive now.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially you're paying at commercial rates, right? So some energy savings you can look at, some planning you can look at how you save. I think you have to get the right people in to sit in the committee. I think proprietor, I always say, get involved because it's your money.
True.
The money they collect. Can you imagine that you collect $400 a month and you have 500 units? You're basically looking at 200,000 every month.
Yeah, that's true. And I think like more participation would allow, like would prevent like more disputes, because at least you know what you're paying for, instead of like suddenly increased and then you come back to the management and ask like, oh, why was I not informed? Well, how come I don't know about this? I didn't vote and all that. Like all sorts of blame game will come in. I would say that.
Yeah, but I mean, for the number of years I sit in the JMBs, I think it's basically how the committee look at JMB itself. A look at JMB is to serve to me, I think the most important thing is not to serve just the proprietors, it's to serve the property itself. Because the duty is to actually maintain the common properties. So your main customer is the common property. So the money you use is to maintain it. Because once you lose the focus, then you won't spend the money as it should be.
Yeah.
Right. So once you maintain the common properties well, the proprietor will see it. They will definitely see it. They see that the landscape is good, the lift is well maintained. They will happily pay the maintenance charges.
I agree.
So I think it's the mindset of the JMB itself is very, very important.
I see. But just now, like, when you mentioned about like the fraud, how people siphon out the money without proprietors knowing, I believe, like, because as you said, this is a free job. And then you see the money and then you siphon it out. And then after the fraud cases come in. So let's just say now proprietors wants to sue, let's say now there is a fraud matter. Okay, we allegedly found out that money has been siphoning out from the accounts. And then after that, we want to sue the chairperson. So the question that now I suddenly have in my mind is, so do we sue the chairperson or the...
Obviously, sue the committee members because they are the mind of the JMB. Right?
Yeah.
But as all fraud, and it takes two to tango. So that's why I say proprietor has to get involved.
True.
Because then you appoint the right property manager and you appraise them yearly, and you make sure that your account is properly audited.
They have to provide like a yearly audit accounts, right?
Yes, they have
During
to provide
the AGM itself.
yearly accounts. But you have a lot of creative accounting anyway, right? I'm not saying bad about accountants, but they are very creative. That's why I say it's very important that you have participation, and preferably you have rotations. You can sit in the JMB not more than 3 terms, I think, and holding a post. So it's good to be there. So you have a good rotations. The new set will come in and look at the account. They know what's going on. So I think that is some
check and balance.
And some preventive measure that you can take.
That's true.
And you can then decide to change your property managers every 2 years just to make sure that you have fresh bloods in there. Unless it's very, very good, then you retain them.
Now, let's talk about another scenario. I think this is like our 4th scenario now. Like, sometimes, right, managements like to impose fines. Or I have seen personally that, we like to buy things, right? Then parcels will send to the condo, right? And then after that, management will say, okay, we are charging $30 for every parcels we are collecting right now. But I've seen this many years ago, and I've been wondering all the time, but it just slipped my mind at the time. I was like, can you charge that? Like, suddenly $40, $30, overnight $100. I've seen many years ago that, things like that happen.
There are 2 views on this. Some JMB would charge, like for example, a car park, and you use a car park, you charge overnight rate, and use a car park, and then,
Would this fall under the bylaws of the condominium?
You can pass the bylaw for maintenance
Right.
and the maintenance of the common properties. Okay, let's go back to the basic of what the obligation and duty of the JMB. The duty and obligation of JMB is basically to maintain the common properties. Okay. Basically, then they collect sufficient fund for maintenance of it. There's no profit elements.
No, yeah.
Okay. So it's a bit controversial. It's like, for example, you collect $20 is for maintenance or for what? You already pay for a security guard. Unless you pay extra for a security guard to maintain those parcels and collect those parcels, then you say, okay, that expenses is reasonably incurred, and then I collect from that proprietor.
But that's debatable because, as we said just now, during the
that's
annual
what I'm
meeting,
saying. It's debatable.
you would have already
but what I'm
seen
saying
it.
is that if you are a committee member and you basically sitting there, once I say is to maintain the common properties, and you may have a common area where you need to spend money to actually set up a common area for those parcels.
But that would already be accounted for during the annual meeting itself.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying, then what's the purpose of collecting the extra then?
Profit?
Yeah,
Possibly.
That's why I say you shouldn't have that sort of at the profit element, but so you service the people.
Yeah.
So if you think you service the people and it doesn't cost you, collecting $10 and make your parcel owner not happy, why you do that?
Yeah.
So I say there's no right and wrong. It's like, for me, I would say, okay, can I do it for free? Why not? My co-owners and people send parcels to you, right?
It's free. It's no
So
charges,
the roads,
whatever.
basically your roads are common property agent. Yeah, it equates that landed the roads and the street lights are basically common, not
Which
common property.
already would have been accounted
You pay
for.
your rates for it.
Yeah, correct.
You pay assessments for it.
Yeah.
So basically, it's there already. You pay for it already.
Yeah.
And what's the basis for you charging extra?
Correct. That's true.
What have you done for charging the extra?
Yeah, but you see, like a lot of people, they don't know about this, and then they just blindly pay for it. Maybe some people will be angry after a long run, but exactly what can be done is another question. Like, let's just say, like at one point, I just can't stand this $40 per parcel anymore. I want to go to the management and I want to complain about this.
You can.
Right?
You can take it up.
Take it up by
to COB, or can go take the management to the tribunal.
Yeah. And then what if I've also seen if proprietors, they don't pay for maintenance fees, and then after that their access card is blocked.
Oh, you can't do that.
But a lot of people is doing that. Hey, you know how many how many condos, right? I went.
You can't do that.
The lift will even put out a name. unit number, how much is owing. And then if you don't pay by this date, we are going to block your access card.
Okay.
Crude.
You just raised a very interesting issues.
Right.
Can you post the defaulter's name in the lift?
You cannot say that it's defamation if it is true.
No. Your duty is to collect. There is a notice board.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of you putting that notice in the lift?
Telling the proprietor.
You just give him notice and you have my address.
Send it to him directly to his unit, right?
Yeah. Why you post it? Your intention is to do what?
Seems a bit bad faith to me, if you ask.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is that if he doesn't pay, you sue him. You just take it.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
you can go for tribunal. This is like a
And
statutory
potentially-
duty itself.
Okay, potentially that person could be out of town, or potentially that person could be recuperating in the hospital. Potentially that person could have passed away.
What are the odds? Like 100 of them
Yeah,
owing?
it doesn't matter. I mean, we always say that, we prefer that criminal law, we prefer one person innocent is go through the due process of it.
Yes.
Right? you just can't take it and say everybody's like that. And then you put the fellas there, all the list there, I mean, I could be overlook it or I could be. Yeah, I mean, there is a proper way of doing it. But the whole purpose is just to want to make him feel bad. And let everybody know he doesn't pay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for community living, you don't do that. I mean, personally, if I don't do that. I wouldn't do that. I mean, for this JMB,
You would have gone to the tribunal straight away, right? File the form one.
Just file.
Send it to him.
Yes, there's a due process,
And it is a confirm, if it is accrued, definitely we'll get it. Because it is part of the statutory act itself.
But what you're trying to shame him. That's
exactly.
all I mean,
that
is not nice. That's not nice too.
But a lot of people has been doing it, as I have seen. Like I said, it's like in red color. Your name will be there. How much is owing will be there, and then block your access card.
Oh, blocking access card definitely no, because you see the thing is that we have that one you can really challenge because that is a fundamental rights to your building, to your properties.
Yeah.
That is the rights under the Constitution.
Correct.
Right. So you can't do that. Okay, they can't force you to walk up to 30th floor.
You cannot walk up because access card is blocked. You cannot go in.
They cannot do that.
Yeah,
They cannot do
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
All they can do is they sue you for the amount owing.
Yeah, correct.
Right. They cannot, because that's infringe your fundamental rights.
Yeah.
Totally, they can't do that. Definitely they cannot do that. Right. And if they block you, you can tell them, are you now under forced imprisonment? Because it stopped me from moving. Freedom of.
I mean, it is a breach under the federal constitution to my right to enjoyment of my own property. But again, a lot of people don't know that. And can you imagine if you are about to file a suit against the management for this particular thing? You might as well just could have paid the maintenance fees itself.
Something is food for thought, okay? I mean, this is not a case yet, but you just think about this. I ask you this question? I don't have answer yet.
Oh, okay.
That's why I say it's something that not tested yet. Can the JMB lock your car for park in the wrong parking area? That means, let's say for my unit is car park 1 and I sort of like come back, I was very tired, I park in car park 2.
Okay.
And the guards came and then they locked your car. They put a lock on the wheel. Can the JMB do that? And they charge you for opening up that what we call the wheel lock.
Well, if there is a bylaw, and the bylaw actually can punish you for
I think
$200.
I think this is a lot of misconception as far as the JMB and owner is concerned. The bylaws, the JMB, it doesn't mean that you're sitting in the committee and you have the bylaw, you're the king.
Oh no, but it applies to every one of us.
No, the JMB, the bylaw is when you pass those bylaws. The bylaws are basically to facilitate the maintenance of the common properties. The car park of the owner is not a common properties.
But what about for like security reasons? You can also pass a
There's
bylaw
nothing
for
to do with security reason. If all the parcel owners sue me for parking in the wrong place for trespassing. It's not the duty of JMBs to deal with the dispute between the parcel owners.
What if they have no idea whose car is that and randomly it's just there?
And too bad. Tomorrow I see whether the car's there or not. And then you take the number, you sue the car park owner for trespassing. You see, can the JMB, I mean, this is contentious. I mean, we have cases to say that you can't have pets, which I totally don't agree, because JMB should not restrict what I keep in my house.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Right.
And if I keep something hazardous, or if I keep something there, you sue me for nuisance if at all. If my dog barks, you sue me for nuisance, right?
What if your baby cries? Can I sue for nuisance?
Yeah, exactly, right? I treat my dogs as a baby, so I can do what I like in my building, in my parcel itself. I have freedom to use my property. But you can manage that. Okay, if you take your dogs out, use a common property, you make sure that you leach. Okay,
Yeah, that's
right?
reasonable.
Or you put it in the case or whatever.
Or put on a mouth guard.
Right? That's for security of the common property.
Correct.
Right?
Some people may be scared.
Yeah. But you cannot stop me from using it by taking my dog out for a walk. I mean, it's like, hello, you infringe my right to use my property as I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right?
I get what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, I just say that you imagine that the landed property, that road in front of your house is owned by the authorities, right? So now the corridor in front of your apartment is owned by the JMB, common property.
Correct.
So the authority doesn't stop you from taking your dog out for a walk. So why should a JMB stop you from taking your dog for a walk?
That's true. Yeah.
Right?
This is a bit far-fetched now. Like maybe we have passed the top 5 scenarios. There is also another very interesting question. What if, right, the top floor, let's just say I'm on the 16th floor, and then the 17th floor is leaked to my ceiling, and then now it's damaging my ceiling part, So what are we going to do about that now? So is it considered as a common property? Does the management deals with it, or the proprietor deals with it? If he's out of
You can actually sue him, or under the Strata Management Act, the JMB can issue the notice and then go and repair and then charge the fella.
So that means ceilings are not common property.
It all depends. I mean, this is an area where different person have different view on this, and it depends how you look at the strata titles, the stratified buildings looking at. I take a very simple view is this, that anything that is not within your parcel is common.
Yeah.
Because you need a structure to maintain that parcels.
Yeah.
So if it's a common, unless the leaking is because of your waterproofing, that cost your waterproofing, then you're responsible. If it's the burst of pipe, then obviously
then the JMB
should be responsible, because that's common property. That means the piping, the main electricity trunking, and those are common.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I say anything. The concept is anything within your parcels, because you own that parcel. Anything between that parcels is your responsibility. The rest is just to maintain that parcel itself, because your parcel cannot exist without the structures. That means just existing. Right? So that structure itself, to me, everything is common except whatever is between your parcels.
Okay, another last scenario. What if sinking fund is suddenly not enough? What if suddenly something very bad happened to the condo?
Like what? Okay, let's make it very clear. Sinking maintenance funds is basically accounts for the common expenses, the daily expenses of the common properties. The sinking funds are for capital expenditures.
Yeah.
Like for example, you change the lift, the day-to-day operation of the lift. Let's say the lift is spoiled, you need to maintain it. That's under the maintenance.
What if
if the whole lift kaput, right? Then you change the whole lift. That's capital expense. So you use sinking fund.
And if it is not enough, do we do EGM to increase the sinking fund?
Increase the sinking fund.
But it's a one-time increment of the sinking fund for that particular event only, right?
But I say if you have insured, most of the time you insured it for it.
Yeah.
then you will get insurance to pay. Let's say, for example, it's in the ordinary course of events that the lift cannot be used anymore, that's not insured.
Yeah.
Assuming that there's an accident and it's insured. So that's why I say it's good to participate and get the right property managers to, because there's a lot of things to look at.
Yeah,
the service
true.
contract,
Yeah.
the insurance, whether
That's
you're
true.
insured or not, right? Obviously, your building will be insured for fire in the event it collapse or what.
Yeah. Thank you again, Dato, for coming.
Oh, you're welcome.
I've had a great pleasure talking to you. Now I know a lot more about strata management, condos, and all that.
I'm still learning.
Yeah, me too. Because okay, thank you again. All right, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye bye.
Bye.